All right. Well, welcome everyone to this week's Toad Learning Camp. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Today we are going to be talking about Silversea Cruises. This is the newest member of the Royal Caribbean Group. And we're going to go over who is Silversea Cruises, what ships they have, what is a Silversea cruise like, and some pros and cons of a Silversea's cruise. So Silverseas was founded back in 1994 by bishops and Lefebvre family of Rome. The company has been family owned until they were purchased by the Royal Caribbean Group a few years ago, but the family still is involved with the cruise line. They wanted to have all-inclusive fares and about 80% North American passengers on board, and they do have their headquarters in Miami. They started out with two ships, the Silver Cloud and the Silver Wind, and then it was several years before they added more, and they added two more ships, the Silver Shadow and Silver Whisper. And then in 2012, they expanded to start doing cruises to the Galapagos, and this is when they started doing some more expedition cruises. In 2018, the Royal Caribbean Group took a majority stake shareholder, and then last year they remained they acquired the remaining interest, and now it's fully owned by the Royal Caribbean Group. Currently, they have depends where you look, 9 ships or 10 ships. I can't quite tell if the 10th ship has been delivered yet or if it's just being delivered this year. It's so hard to know with COVID. 2 ships were delivered last year, so they obviously haven't sailed yet. And then 2 more on order for 22 and 24, I believe. So the Silver Cloud was built in 1994, but refurbished just a few years ago. This one's one of the smaller ships, 254 passengers, and 17,400 gross tons. What's interesting to note on here is the ratio between the passengers and the crew. They're pretty close to 1-to-1 ratio on most of their ships. This is a fairly small ship. Just for comparison, I know Tanya has been on Azamara with us. Azamara ships are 30,000 gross tons. So this is about half the size of that. And Azamara ships hold about just under 700 passengers with 400 crew members. So this is a very small ship. Then we go to the Silver Wind, which was built a year later, a little bit larger in the number of passengers that they hold, but still the same gross tonnage. And then 5 years later, the Silver Shadow came on board, and they're starting to increase the number of passengers and up the gross tonnage. So the Silver Shadow is a larger ship. And the Silver Whisper is a sister to the Silver Shadow, built another year later. And as you can see, all of these ships are fairly newly refurbished. The Silver Spirit then, oh, that's supposed to be 2019, or no, 2009, and then refurbished in 2018. Now we're getting to the current size of the ships, are pretty close. Silver Spirit is still a little bit smaller than the largest ship that they have, but we're getting closer there. And this is the Silver Cloud. No, the Silver Wind. And then, oh, the Cloud and then the Wind. Sorry about that. Here's the pool deck of the next one. And one more, and then the Silver Spirit. Uh, then the Silver Explorer was actually a ship that they acquired, and it had been built in 1989. It was brought on to do the Galapagos product in 2012 and then refurbished in 2017. So you can see this is a much smaller ship holding 144 passengers, and only 6,072 gross tons. Then the Silver Muse. Now this is the newest class of ships that they have, built in 2019, and you're going to see the next set of ships are all going to be the same passenger count, same crew count, and same gross tonnage. The Silver Moon came out last year. Silver Origin, the interesting thing about this ship is it appears to be a sister to the Celebrity Flora. Holds the same number of passengers, crew, and gross tonnage. And looking at the deck plans, it looks very similar to the Celebrity Flora. And this year, the Silver Dawn is coming out, and then 2 ships in the next 3 years. So this is the Silver Explorer, and then the Muse, I can't even read it anymore. Sorry about that. The Origin, and this is the inside of one of the piano bar inside, and most of the ships look very similar inside. It's just a matter of what rooms they have. One of the things that's really nice about Silversea is they're a small ship, but they have a larger ship amenities. They have, at least on all of their ships, at least 2 different dining venues. In many of the ships, they'll have 4 or 5 or 6 different dining venues. Nearly everything is included. There are 2 restaurants that do have an upcharge, but there's a significant amount of things that are included, and we'll go over that shortly here. This is the entry-level suite. All of the rooms on the ships are suites. They all have butlers. This one is a windowed room. 80% of the rooms do have balconies, though. This would be the entry-level balcony. And then we've got the Supreme and the Deluxe balconies. And then we get into the lowest level suite, which is the Medallion Suite and the Silver Suite. And then these 3 are going to be your Grand Suite, Owner's Suite, and Royal Suite. So what a Silversea's cruise is definitely an upscale luxury experience. It is classy. It's for people who appreciate fine arts, gourmet dining, unique cultural experiences, and incredible onshore experiences. One thing that I found interesting when I attended a webinar about Silversea is they talked about how on the cruise, somebody spotted a pod of dolphins or a pod of whales, and the captain just took the ship over where the whales were located. They're definitely more customized than just your average sailing. Well-traveled professional couples with a taste for adventure is what you will find on a Silversea's cruise. Average age is 55 and mostly North American. And sophisticated and affluent. They also have single supplements as low as 125%. And they have something called the Silversea Experience, which is a private shoreside event. This is going to be similar to the Oz Amazing Evening that Azamara has. They also have self-serve laundry, which is nice if you're doing a longer sailing. The high space ratios that I mentioned before. There's some of the largest suites in the luxury class of cruises. They personalize your suites, and I found this very interesting. Everything from what you have in your stocked minibar that is included. If you want a queen bed or 2 twin beds, if you want a soft mattress or a firm mattress. Those are just some of the things that they can customize for you in your room. And like I mentioned, they have a lot more dining options. They've got a pizzeria on board. A fancy French restaurant, that's the one that does have an upcharge. Sushi and hibachi, the hibachi restaurant does have an upcharge. Italian, several different options, and just depending upon which ship you're on. And they do visit all continents, including Antarctica. And in 2022, Silversea Cruise is going to be even more inclusive. Airfare will be included, at least one shore excursion in every port of call. And right now, gratuities are included, your dining's all included except for the 2 upcharge restaurants. Right now, basically the only things you're going to pay for when you get on the ship is if you want an extra special bottle of wine, or you want top shelf liquors, or the more premium liquors, or if you want to go to the spa, or do some shopping on board. Otherwise, everything is included, including your fine wines and champagne and spirits. So some of the pros and cons of a Silversea cruise. It's definitely more formal. They do have one formal night on every sailing that is up to 9 nights. And with formal night, it is gowns or cocktail dresses for the ladies and a tuxedo for the men. Ties are required for men on formal night. They do have several informal nights, and with that, you can wear a jacket, and the tie is optional. Women pantsuits or dresses. And then they've got like about 3 or 4 casual nights as well. They do have some dining venues that if you don't want to dress up formal, you don't have to worry about it. However, if you want to go enjoy the activities after dinner, a jacket is required on the formal nights for men. Not necessarily a tie, but a jacket would still be required for those activities. They are all inclusive. So pretty much what you pay, you're going to get your flights, you're going to get your shore excursions, your meals, a butler, anything that you need, customized room, and not have any unexpected bills at the end of the cruise. Like I mentioned, all suites have a butler, even the rooms with just a window they're all considered suites, and they all do come with butlers. The cruise is Italian inspired. The family did come from Rome, so that's kind of expected there. They are intimate and much smaller than most cruise lines. They do offer expedition cruises, going to both polar regions, the Galapagos Islands, several other places where you would expect an expedition cruise. Like they do expedition cruises around Kimberley and Australia and New Zealand, in that area. And they do have more activities on board than some of your other luxury cruise lines. They do offer a lot of lectures on board. It doesn't look like they offer a lot of activities that you'll find on the larger cruise ships, such as your trivia nights and that sort of thing. But they do talk about having DJs on board and musicians and that sort of thing. So more activities than you're going to find on some, not as many as the really large ships. They do have low-key and quiet evenings on board. Smoking is allowed outdoors in a few more areas than you would expect on some of the ships and in the connoisseur bar. The connoisseur bar is a cigar bar and cognacs. So that I would expect in there. But that is both an inside and outside bar. And then up by the pool deck, but they do restrict the smoking to one side, but it is not a smoke-free ship. They do have a theater and they do have performances every night, but they said it's not really a flashy, high energy sort of thing. It's not super casual or informal. I don't know of many cruises that you see the cruise or the dress code given for what's appropriate for daytime wear. And they mention, you know, sporting outfits. So I'm guessing like polo shirts and, you know, a nice pair of shorts and low shoes, no high heels. They don't, this I couldn't find, but I saw someone say that they don't allow stilettos on the deck. So you don't have to worry about bringing your high heels. They do not have a children's programming. So you're going to find mostly adults on board, which is going to be similar to what Azamara offers as well. And not an extensive variety of scheduled activities or events on board. And that's pretty much all that I have on this. So I am going to open this up for questions. So feel free to unmute yourself.
Feels like it's not really a question, it's a comment. Feels like the vibe of the Viking Ocean for entertainment purposes. Yeah, more relaxed
Yeah,
at night.
that's the impression that I got, but with more activities and more dining options.
Yeah.
It felt like there was a little bit more than that. And they are smaller than the Viking ship as well. Viking holds about 930. So yeah, I did get that same impression.
Are the excursions included?
They aren't right
Okay.
now, but they
Okay.
will be next year, at least one excursion per port. So
Okay.
again, that's similar to what Viking does.
Yeah.
Any unique ports that they service that others don't?
They do go to a lot of smaller ports because of their size. I want to say that, let me just check my notes here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that next year, like the world cruise that they have, and you can do portions of the world cruise, they're going to 61 new ports of call. And they definitely a lot smaller ports. And they do get down to the Caribbean. They get all over the world. With variety of sizes of ships.
I tend to call some of these cruise lines nomadic because they just go, they figure out where they're going to go for the year and they go all over the world. And so you can't say, well, I want to go on them. You know, I want to see Bimini in June. They might not be there.
Well, the only thing I would say with that is they do have 10 ships. So that while they can do that still, like they do have 2 ships in Alaska next summer. So doing 7-day itineraries and going to some of the smaller ports of call that the larger ships don't get into. So yes, they do travel all over the world and don't usually repeat too many of the itineraries. With 10 ships, it's a little bit easier to do that.
Sign me up. I'm ready.
I figure I have to try it at some point, right?
Yeah. With a single supplement of only 125%. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's as low as 125.
Oh.
So it's going to be on some sailings, it'll be that low.
Okay.
Other sailings it won't. It depends what room you get. If you get one of the top suites, they're not going to do it for 125%. But yeah, the rooms are a nice size, marble bathrooms. It looks nice. I had a hard time with the pictures because they all look the same inside. So when they've been redoing the ships, they're making them all look the same. So it's kind of consistent from one ship to the other and nothing really stands out.
Do you think anything will change now that Royal owns all of it?
I'll know more on Friday because I'm doing another webinar with them on Friday, and we'll probably hear more about that. The last I heard, they're not going to totally turn over to like the system that we use for Royal and Celebrity and Azamara. They're not gonna jump on that right away. There is talk about what could happen with the loyalty program and that sort of thing, because they do have their own loyalty program. Hopefully they will do a reciprocity and have some consistency between them so we can see that. I did notice a lot of similarities between the Viking Ocean and the Azamara, between the two. It's almost like this is something in between there, but more inclusive than either one of them. And so it was kind of interesting because, you know, I wasn't a real big fan of Viking, and I am a fan of Azamara, and I kind of fell in the middle on this one. And like some things were kind of drawing me to it and some were drawing me away from it. So it's definite. I definitely want to try it sometime though.
I know each cruise would be different, but like on the Viking, every day was a port. So was it like that?
Some sailings will be like that.
It was exhausting.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, 9 ports in 9 days. It was like, okay, I just need a sea day.
Yeah. All the dining is a la carte. So there's no, you know, mass seatings and like the big cruise ships, which is typical with a smaller ship.
You don't need reservations. You just show up.
Some are recommended to have reservations, but you don't have to for everything. And they have several options for each meal as well. So you're not just stuck with going to the buffet or the main dining room for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and which is nice. The pizzas look really good. You don't have to dress formal on formal night if you go to the pizza place.
Sure. I think formalism, well, formal, but like informal, the dress is like, you know, just put something black on with a fancy necklace. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not bringing a gown, that's for sure.
I don't think it'll work the same for me, Tanya.
It was kind of funny. I was trying to track down the dress code, and they said for formal night for men, a tuxedo or a dinner jacket or a dark suit with a tie. Ties are mandatory. And then someone on Cruise Critics said, yeah, my husband brings this really nice pink jacket for formal night. And someone's like, oh, no, not for formal night. It needs to be dark. Wow. That was one of those where it kind of pushed me the other way.
You mean it's not already there hanging in the closet for me?
What's that?
It's not already there hanging in the closet for me?
They actually, honestly, they do have jackets and ties available on board for men who don't have one, who do want to dine in on formal night. You can also get 24-hour room service, including a coursed meal in your suite, and they will serve it in courses.
Wow.
What exactly does a butler do? I mean, I have a vague idea, but tell me what officially it does.
They will pack and unpack for you. Yeah, I'm not a real butler person.
Like, don't touch my undies.
Yeah, they'll take care of, arranging anything that you need arranged. They're kind of like
Concierge.
yeah, a little bit more personal than a concierge, but very similar to a concierge. And they'll pack and unpack for you as well.
It's the concierge / room steward.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to do the cleaning of your room. That's
Okay.
a different person. But they're in there to, if you need anything arranged or so, yeah, basically a personal concierge that's going to come to your room and take care of you there.
Yeah, they come to see you to find out what you might want to do. And then they'll just go and make it happen. I mean, that's the theory.
Rather than a concierge that you're going to go and see. Yes. But they're going to also do your packing and unpacking. And in Alaska, our concierge took care of getting arrangements when we had our gathering and got the cakes and drinks and stuff for the room when we did that on the morning that we were in Hubbard Glacier.
Yeah.
He got us coffee every morning if we wanted it. I didn't like the way he brought my coffee, so I only let him do it once. I felt bad. I didn't want him to have to get up as early as I got up, so I'd sit there and wait for 2 hours for my cup of coffee, and then I don't know if he just didn't understand what I wanted, but
And then it's wrong.
yeah, he brought me something terrible. I'm like, nah, I'll just do it myself tomorrow. I like going down to the coffee shop.
Let's see the appeal of unpacking and packing suitcase. I mean, mine is like Tetris, so they're never going to get it back in the suitcase. And I need to know where they've put everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know a lot of people that have their butlers do packing and unpacking for them. I haven't heard of anybody who does do that, but they will do that if you want them to. And I need to know where everything is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care so much when I'm getting ready to go on a plane and go home. Fine, just get it all in there and I'll leave. But I want to know. I want to know where my clothes are the next day.
Yeah, it's pretty much the butler's opportunity to just hide everything.
And I don't want anybody packing my dirty clothes.
Yeah.
No. I do like that they have self-service laundry
Mm-hmm.
because I'm particular about my laundry, and I've seen how they do the laundry, and they wash everything in hot. And there's certain things I don't dry. And so sending laundry out is not something that I will do. Yeah. Dry cleaning is one thing, but just doing
Yeah.
my laundry, I was like, that's not going to work. So
When we went on Princess and we decided to send out laundry, I didn't send out socks and underwear. I mean, I brought enough, so I didn't have to worry about that. But what I found is that they all do it just a little bit different too, as far as marking things. And 6 months later, I'm still finding stickers inside my clothes because I couldn't find where they put them in every single piece of clothing. And it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, it's a stupid sticker with my room number on it. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them doing my laundry. I don't care about the hot water, but I want to do my own clothes or have my laundress do it. So do you guys have any other questions?
What is their price range for just a regular cabin? I know it varies between ships, but in length, but
Per diem, it's around 500 a person, 550 a person.
okay. And when they add the flights in, will that change?
I'm not
Probably.
sure. It probably will change some. When they do add the flights in, there will be business class upgrades available.
At an affordable rate or
Not sure.
okay.
Yeah.
I just know like with Pau again, the upgrade was, a couple $1,000. Is like, are you serious?
Well, with them, the base price
Oh
was
yeah, ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got business class for what they were charging us for economy.
Yeah. And is it one of those, I don't know if you know, but where they just say, here's your ticket, these are your flights, thanks, and there's a change fee if you want to change anything? Or is it, okay, here are your options and you pick?
I'm not sure, but most of them are going to do options.
Okay.
Most of the cruise lines have moved to that. Very few do you're going to get what you're going to get.
Because I think Viking did that, and all of a sudden my flight was at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was like, are you serious? No.
Viking gave us a little bit of flexibility. Oh no, we had to pay to get flexibility.
Yeah.
Because we paid to get a specific flight. I think because I don't know why. We wanted a direct flight. I think that's what it was. So, and I think we would have been assigned the same flight that we got on anyways, because almost everybody from Chicago was on the same flight as us. But it was more security knowing we had it and being able to upgrade our seats. And so, but most of them do have that option. If they do assign you flights, most of them will have, usually it's like between $50 and $100 a passenger to get seats or get specific flights that you want.
Are they currently sailing, or they're waiting for CDC stuff?
Still waiting.
Okay.
And speaking of the CDC, apparently at least one ship from American Queen is having to cancel their sailing because of a dispute between the CDC and yeah. So the American flagged cruise ships did start sailing last weekend, but one of them is having to cancel the sailing because they say that the Coast Guard's authorization is not in order. So yeah, Bill, we can't hear you. You're muted, so. So next week, we are going to take a poll and see what you guys want to hear about. If you have ideas of what you want me to do next week, let me know. Next week's going to be our last general one, and then on March 31st, we're going to do something special for our final episode of Toad Learning Camp. We'll do something, I'm sure we'll do something again sometime, but not a weekly thing on the one day of the week that I have at least 2 to 3 webinars every single week. And It's been fun, but all good things have to come to an end, and we'll be cruising soon. I have faith we'll be cruising soon. I have faith that we'll have some direction soon. We didn't get it today like we thought we were going to, but
Well, and Kevin's got his own boat there, so we're good to
Pretty
go.
rough, though. I don't know where it's gonna go.
I think that's the one that goes from Cuba to Miami. or Key
It's
West.
not called the Minnow, is it?
No.
no, it looks like a St. Thomas boat. It looks like a St. Thomas license number on it. All righty. Well, I'm going to turn off the recording. Thank you guys for coming.